I just wanted to talk through a couple of things that affect me and my life with fibromyalgia. Anyway. So first I wanted to talk through my story with it and go from there. Okay, so first I started to get ill in January 2016 when I was in university studying fine art. It started out by me just feeling unwell. I would get a bit of vertigo, don't know why. I would just kind of, I was feeling generally unwell, and that progressed to the point where I was feeling more and more and more exhausted. And then I went to my doctor and I said, you know, this is happening, fix me. And rheumatologist. And after 9 months of waiting, I finally saw the rheumatologist, and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia in August 2017, and that was about 1.5 years ago now, I think. Could be, who knows? And you know, it's affected my life in quite a few different ways. Once you develop it, depending on the severity of what you have, it completely changes your life. You're not the same person that you were before, which sucks. But it caused me to drop out of university, which is great. So I tried to find a job after university, just a part-time one, because I felt like that's what I could manage. And then I got too ill to even look for a job. So my doctor signed me off, and I tried to apply for PIP and DSA, which is Disability Support Allowance, people who don't know. And PIP is Personal Independence Payment something. After my doctor determined that it was a long-term thing, it wasn't just a you need to exercise more, eat better, short-term thing, I went on a bunch of different medications. The first one I went on was fluoxetine, and personally I found that that didn't help me too much. It helped with my mood, but not much else. And then I went on amitriptyline, duloxetine, gabapentin, sertraline. Gabapentin was for pain, not an SSRI. Out of all of those, I've found that duloxetine and amitriptyline had quite bad side effects. Sertraline has helped with my mood, and gabapentin has had a couple of side effects, but mainly just it helps a bit with pain. Some of the main side effects you get from fibromyalgia are obviously exhaustion, pain, and then there's this thing called fibro fog. And fibro fog, for people who don't know, is where you get very confused and your brain won't process things properly. I think it's cognitive impairment or something like that it's referred to as. And you know, it gets to the point where you can't remember your own name. And it's not that the person who has it is stupid or that they don't know things, it's just, it's the fibromyalgia, and which can be exacerbated by the medications you're on. I find personally that when I take some medications, especially for the first time when my body is adjusting to them, that the confusion can be a bit worse, which isn't great. So that's fun. It's kind of like where you get to the stage that you're so exhausted that your brain can't process things, which is what happens with fibro fog. Now I'm on the waiting list for the pain management clinic and a psychologist to help with the emotional side of it all. But I mean, it took me 9 months to see the rheumatologist. In my area, pain clinics are very very busy, so I'm probably not going to see one for the next few years, which is great. My doctor looked into finding a chronic fatigue specialist for me, but there aren't any. Is newly diagnosed with fibromyalgia or thinks they might have it. One of the most daunting things when it comes to it is this realization that it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. Your life is completely different and it's completely changed. And even though certain drugs can help, they can help with pain, they can help with exhaustion a little bit, you're never going to be the person you were before. It's always going to be, you know, different. You're not going to be the same. You're never going to be the same person. So that feeling of losing the person you were is devastating. I mean, your life is limited so much by it. You can try and push through, but you're never gonna be the same you were before. For the first 2 years I had fibromyalgia, I didn't really do anything because I was so upset by the realization of it all and getting used to it all. Even though you never actually get used to having it, you get used to the fact that your life is never going to be the same. I mean, there are days when I still wake up and I forget that it's there. Even though I'm in pain, I just forget that it's there. So it's just a difficult thing to come to terms with. But now I've started university, which is really fun actually. I'm having a really good time. It's good. And I've tried a bunch of different things that might help. I've tried magnesium citrate, I've tried turmeric, I've tried CBD, I've tried stretches. The problem with fibromyalgia is that there isn't a specific there are theories as to what it is. There are theories that it's an autoimmune disease, it's this, it's that, it's the other. There's some new research that's come out that it happens in abuse survivors. There's some research that's genetic. There's some research that it causes inflammation in the brain. There's all this research, but because there isn't much funding for it, that there isn't a massive amount of research and people don't know what it is. The answer as to what it is, as opposed to what the symptoms are, is a bit more complex, and it's a bit more of a debate because some people have some very strong feelings as to if it's genetic, if it's caused by certain medications, if it's caused by other illnesses. So if whatever you read about fibromyalgia and what it's caused by or what it is, please take it with a grain of salt, because I have read so much conflicting information about it over the last 3 years. So it's going to be a while before we find the answer, I reckon. And lastly, I wanted to finish on what to do the way to support someone who has fibromyalgia, because I know a couple of people that have it, as well as other various illnesses. Mainly just be understanding. I've had to let so many friends down because I feel ill. I feel too ill to leave the house. I feel too ill to get out of bed. And although it sounds like something that will happen to people when they have the flu, that can be an everyday scenario sometimes. So having just understanding, just supporting someone, just being there to listen when they feel down, it helps immensely. And I mean, there isn't really much you can do aside from trying. So yeah, just be there, support them, help them. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope it's been helpful. I hope to make other videos around fibromyalgia. Oh, cat. This is my cat. That was so cute. She is literally just fluff and flop. All she does is this. It's great. But I hope to make other videos around fibromyalgia, what it is, and all the others. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!